The woman sliced the virus-infected cell in half. She used a tool to separate a small sample and placed it under the microscope. To her shock, she discovered all the cells were bursting apart. The female scientist gasped in fear. Only a biosafety level 4 virus could cause such destruction. She immediately put on her protective suit and entered the highest security lab with her assistant. It's worth knowing that even COVID-19 is only classified as biosafety level 3.
Every known filovirus on Earth is in this freezer. Do you know how many people would die on this planet if the leftovers of this freezer ever got released?
All of us?
She first extracted Marburg virus antibodies from a chimpanzee and dripped them onto the newly discovered filovirus sample, but the serum didn't turn green, which meant this wasn't the Marburg virus.
It's negative.
That's good.
No. If it's not Marburg, none of the other options are good.
If it wasn't Marburg, there was only one terrifying possibility left: the Ebola virus with a fatality rate as high as 90%. She took out the Ebola antibodies, and just as she was preparing to test them, her assistant suddenly looked terrified. The woman glanced over and saw that her protective suit was torn open and stained with fresh blood. Realizing how dangerous this was, she quickly hit the alarm button, then ran to the decontamination chamber for a full disinfection. After taking off her suit and checking for wounds, she finally discovered it was just a cut from slicing vegetables that morning. Her supervisor placed her in isolation and banned her from entering the lab for a week.
You can get as angry as you want at me later. Right now, we've got to get to that. We may have a filovirus on our hands, and there's a chance that it's Ebola.
At that moment, her colleague stepped forward in protest because Ebola had never been found in the United States. The woman wanted to go back into the lab to verify the results, but following an emergency incident, all the samples had been damaged during sterilization. There was no other way. So after her quarantine ended, the woman drove through the night to the research facility. There she secured 2 monkey corpses that had died from the virus, but the staff member didn't realize the gravity of the situation and only covered the monkeys with a thin plastic bag. Given no other option, the woman loaded the monkey bodies into her car. She needed to get them back to the lab before they thawed completely, but she didn't expect to get stuck in heavy traffic on the way back. Hearing frantic honking, she rushed out of the car to check and saw blood leaking onto the road. The virus-laden blood was exposed to the open air, and if not handled quickly, it could cause a catastrophic disaster. She immediately pulled out the fuel line and pretended the car had broken down. She rushed to a nearby store to buy disinfectant supplies before the traffic police arrived. She managed to clean up all the blood safely. Then she put fresh plastic bags over the monkeys. When she returned to the research facility, she immediately entered the level 4 lab to run tests, but she discovered that her clearance had been revoked. Luckily, at that moment, her colleague arrived. He also wanted to confirm whether it was truly the Ebola virus. Quickly, they collected a sample from one of the monkeys and dropped Ebola antibodies onto it. Sure enough, the serum turned green.
Ebola Zaire.